You're the best dressed person at the club. There is no doubt about it.
I will take that. It's because I can't play golf very well. I'll take that.
No, that's not even an understatement. Like, he is always looks so fly, tailored, pleats.
Now, you will make some questionable decisions when it's like 98 degrees out.
I
and
will.
It's like, well, pants. You're like, listen.
Yeah, I'm wearing cashmere and sweating.
Yeah. You know what that sound means? It's time for another episode of the Vanity Index podcast. It's
Chad Mumm.
and Wells Adams hanging out with you. Dude, I'm pumped about today's episode because this is a guy that we're having on the show that I play with like all the time. That sounded weird. I play golf with all the time. Incredibly talented guest joining us, actor, writer, director, all-around creative force. You probably know him from his unforgettable roles in Hawaii Five-0, the Ocean's 11 trilogy, and countless other TV and film projects. Beyond acting, our guest today is also a skilled photographer. I didn't know that. A playwright. I didn't know that. And someone who has a deep love for storytelling in all of its forms. But you probably know him, at least I'd know him best, as Tweeter from Varsity Blues. Welcome to the Vanity Index podcast, Scott Caan.
Thank you. Wells, you have such a lovely voice.
I could turn it on real quick.
You put that big mic in front of him, and he just
I know.
turns into a
never
radio
noticed
personality. Yeah.
Scotty, how are you, bud?
I'm good, buddy. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you on.
Yeah,
Did you like my intro there?
I really did.
Did I miss anything?
I mean, no, not that I could think of. But I honestly, it was just, I always thought you're so handsome, but now the voice really,
Yeah.
I never really paid attention to
He's
what a
fully
great,
torqued right now. Scotty, we play a lot of golf together.
Yeah,
Um,
you're a fantastic golfer.
yeah, do you like playing golf with me?
You're one of my favorite people to play golf with.
You're not just saying it because we're on the show?
Absolutely not. I was actually talking to Charlie about it yesterday, and there's only a few. It's like, who do you want to go on a 4-hour walk with? And
Yeah.
there's not a ton of people you want to do that with.
Yeah,
Chad's never invited me to play with him, so I don't know if he's fun.
Have you never played with
We were
Scotty?
supposed to play today, but
And then both of you said no, I can't.
well,
change
we
your
have
mind."
we unfortunately have to keep making this show, but
Yeah.
but we will be playing 9 holes hopefully this afternoon. So I'd love to do that.
I saw you yesterday. You were playing with Charlie Day.
Yeah.
I saw you on 8. What happened? Did you win that match?
We Charlie and I, when we play together, we don't gamble. We just talk shit and have a good time.
Yeah.
But on 8, I think he made. Charlie's an amazing golfer. He'll just like start focusing and then just make pars and birdies.
Yeah.
If he's like not focused, then he'll get goofy.
He is an amazing golfer.
Yeah.
I think he is the best celebrity golfer, certainly that I've ever played with.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played with a lot of celebrity golfers, but he's definitely. He's like as good of a golfer as I. I've saw the guy shoot 67 one time.
Yeah. He also comes from like the athletic world, wasn't he? Like a really good baseball player growing up.
Yeah, he does seem just like a good athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just talk about Charlie Day the whole time.
Yeah, let's
and then
fuck-
make sure that Charlie talks about me the whole
Oh,
time.
definitely.
Yeah.
How did you get into golf?
So I was always into all sports as a kid. So I'm sure I swung a club when I was a kid at some point, but I never was into golf until later in life. And I think Oliver Hudson, I know you know Oliver, he was a big golfer.
He's really good, by the way.
Really good player, yeah. And he was a member at Mountain Gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was like in my 20s, and he said, "Come on, me and my buddy Mark Rose." He said, "Come play with us." And to me, it was like, all right, I'm gonna put on a really good outfit.
Yeah.
So that's originally what drew me to golf. Was I just love the way dudes dressed in the 50s and 60s.
Which, by the way, you still do to this day, and you are the best dressed person at the club. There is no doubt about it.
I will take that. It's because I can't play golf very well. I'll take that.
No, it's like that's not even an understatement. Like, he is always looks so fly, tailored, pleats, just like straight out of the 50s. So I have a reminds me of this anecdote. So at Lakeside, there is a we have always had a lot of history with the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, which, by the way, have you ever played the Pebble Pro-Am? No. We've had, at one point, we had the most golfers from any club who ever played in that. That's the Clam Bake, up at Pebble Beach. And there's a photo in the Lakeside Pro Shop from maybe 15 years ago. And it was the most Lakeside members ever in one Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and it's like a bunch of guys standing there, and you see it's like Justin Timberlake and Ray Romano, and I don't think it was Pesci, but it was like
Pena.
Kunal,
Yep.
and then Andy Garcia.
And Andy, yeah.
And you look at all of them, and they look like it's the most dated photo of all time. Like Pena's got like a white belt. I think, Kunal's like full on, like look like Sergio Garcia, like the kind of garish, loud neon era of bad golf outfits. And then you see Andy in the middle, and it's like timeless.
He looks got great style.
He looks exactly like how he would have looked 100 years ago or like today. And that's how I feel about you. Whenever we see you out there, it's like, it's just timeless.
So do you,
but that's what drew me to it. I'm
really
like putting together an outfit. But anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, like, so are you like, because you're wearing jeans right now and you can't wear that at the club, but like, is that your normal aesthetic? Or when you're like, I'm going to the club, I want to have this like kind of heritage golf look and that it's like a choice, or do you dress like that kind of all the time?
No, I don't dress like that all the time. I mean, I feel like if you're going to, again, I could be wrong. And I don't know why people don't, I feel like we should start some sort of clothing line to bring back the style.
You had a great name. I don't know if you want to debut that.
Well, we don't know. Maybe we'll save it. Cause okay. But no, I feel like when I get dressed to play golf, imagine that I'd be getting dressed to go out to like a nice dinner.
Yeah.
Same vibe, right? So I don't dress generally during the day like I'm going to a nice dinner. So usually I'll bring a golf outfit to the golf course and put it on and then change back into my regular, like, the sexy mechanic look.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the thing about golf. That's like there's not that much, especially now, like post-COVID, everybody's working from home or whatever. It's like there's not a lot of chances to like put an outfit on. Really, I mean, it's dinner, it's golf. It's like maybe you go to a meeting. But I was the same way. I mean, I had way worse style than you. I was like whatever they were wearing on tour, but I always wanted to look like a tour player when I was a kid. But it was a big deal. Like I remember the first golf shirt I got that I wanted was like a Greg Norman shark shirt. And it was like so garish in the 90s. And I'm like, God, I wish I still had it. It would be like fly as hell right now.
At our club, we've got all these old pictures because it's this old Hollywood club, right? Like, Bob Hope and Bing Crosby were kind of like our founding members. And so there's all these amazing pictures of this time that seems, I think it probably in our minds, classic. And there is a part of me that like wishes we could just all go back to that. And
we can all.
I know. Here's the thing. So you started doing it.
You have great style too.
I know. So I used to be like you. I wanted to look like a professional golfer, and then I met Scott Caan. We were going through the process of joining at around the same time, and I was like, "Wait, hold on. You can do that? I can just look like a badass on the golf course." Now, you will make some questionable decisions when it's like 98 degrees out. And it's like wool pants. You're like, listen.
Yeah, I'm wearing cashmere and sweating.
Yeah.
But
you look great.
I'm into it, yeah.
Going back to my original question of like, what got you into this? Like, did you play as a kid?
No, so I never really played. Honestly, I've never thought it would be something that I would do. And during COVID, someone invited me to Lakeside. I think it was Don Rio. Don. And the whole country club lifestyle and golf club, that all seemed really strange to me and foreign to me and not something that I would ever be a part of. And honestly, I always thought golf was a little not my style. I was like, a sport where you can't hit somebody didn't make sense to me, or you couldn't use aggression to get through. And but when I got to Lakeside, I thought like, wait, this is not what I thought clubs would be, or, not what my experience had been before that. And I thought there's a bunch of really cool people here. And then I also got really into like, at that time during COVID, a game that, I could play. And I kind of got into like the Zen, like kind of grounded element of playing golf, because I've always been like an aggressive athlete. And I think it was like super healthy for my brain to kind of like play a game where I could just have to be as chill and as grounded as possible. So like those things all kind of happened at the same time, and wanted to be a part of, join this club, and also like got really obsessed with the game. And, just the idea of something being, I never saw it as so difficult until I started to play. you know, and then I think it's like one of the hardest things in the world to do well regularly. And I like a challenge, and I want to, you know, master the like physical and mental aspect of the game. And that's got me obsessed with it.
Do you remember like the first time you flushed a shot?
The first time, no, but I know what you're getting at, and like there's nothing like it.
It like gets you that's like you're on the dragon when that happens. I still remember when I was like 6 years old and I hit like some 5-iron that was like a hand-me-down, and it was like, that's what it feels like. And then you're just wanting that over and over again, and you never can master it.
Yeah. I mean, look, you guys, I watch you guys play. You've still never invited me. But I watch Wells play, and it feels like you're kind of doing that regularly. And I know in your head it's not that, but I can't imagine what it's like to. I mean, even when I was like, I got during the strike. I think I was playing, 4 days a week. At that point, I was like starting to shoot, like, you know, break 80 a couple times. But even then, I never felt completely confident that I was hitting the ball right. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
Do you feel like when I watch you shoot 72, 73, like, do you feel like I know how to hit this ball and nothing can go wrong?
No, I am always like, this could be a big snap hook, which is like my big miss. But I didn't ask you. We start the show with.
I saw you too. Sorry to interrupt. I saw you too one time. You had like this. You drove the ball and it like you had a drive on. I think it was 5 or something, and it was like a big. It faded a little too far right, and you had to like go over 9 trees. You had like 210 out, and you grabbed a 5-iron and like we're like, oh, hold on, like you ran into the middle of 8. And you like hit the green from 210 on a different fairway, but you like hit it and you made it look like there was no chance that wasn't going to happen.
Well, that's nice of you.
I saw it.
Yeah.
What is your handicap right now?
My index is a 8.5, 8.4, something like that.
And what was it at its lowest point?
6. During
Dude, that's good, man.
Yeah, and when I met you, I think I was a 15. It was my index was a 15 when I started.
Yeah, I remember the like I want to break 80 conversation and us playing a lot. And then I remember you starting to do it a lot. I mean, it was during the strike. So you and Charlie Day and all the actors were just out there all the time.
Yeah.
Like Charlie got down to like some crazy number.
Well,
during
shot a 67.
Yeah, that's when he shot a 67. Yeah.
But like, you know, golf is a frustrating game where it's like nothing's ever going to be good enough, right? Like you see my game and you're like, why can't I do that? Right. And then I see Chad's game and I'm like, why can't I do that? Yeah. But at the end of the day, like being a sub 10 handicap, like you're in rarefied air when it comes to golf, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, also, you know, if you're an athlete, nothing's ever good enough, but I'm actually getting better to where we used to get like angry. And I think somebody said to me, I think it was a caddy. It was like, dude, where do you get the balls to be angry? Like you don't do this. Like you don't even practice enough. And I think I'm now going like, okay, there was a moment where all I wanted to do was get my handicap lower and lower and lower. Yeah. And now I'm like, who cares? A little bit. Like I want to enjoy. If I can't go out there and enjoy it, and you know, I think somebody was telling me like, no, we want you to be angry when you make a mistake. So I thought that was like the jam, like just be pent up and pissed off all the time. But now I think I'm kind of going like, I don't do this for a living. If I'm going to be pissed off, then it's not worth playing. You know?
Yeah. What is some of your like after swing thoughts of like trying to calm yourself down?
You know, the best swing thought I ever got was I was from Sean Foley, who was Tiger's coach at one point, and he taught me this little technique because he's like, dude, if you're like good enough to be a single digit or like a low single digit, and I started playing when I was like 6 years old, so I played competitive junior golf. Like that muscle is in there, you know. Like I've hit enough good shots in my life to like have a weird shot from like a side hill lie on a fairway and be like, I know I could like pull this off, and then you know sometimes you do. For me, he's like, yeah, if you can hit it, like you're gonna be fine. He's like, you just have a trigger problem. He's like, you need to be confident in your swing. You need to kind of find a way to unlock your natural swing. And he's like, you know, it'll be good enough. And so he said his advice to me was like, stand over the ball and count backwards from 3. So 3, 2, 1, swing. And like when you say the S in your mind's eye, I want you to like pull the trigger. And he's like, the reason why you count backwards is your brain's used to counting up since you're like a toddler. But counting backwards actually it engages like an actual part of your brain, which takes a little bit of like thinking off of the mechanical part of your body. And so then you're just reacting. And I played golf as a kid. But
I'm going to try this today.
Yeah,
you
no.
should. No, it's really good advice. Yeah. You know, but like so I also played football and baseball and football. I was a quarterback. I could throw it. And like, I never thought about the mechanics of throwing a football. And the best tightest spirals, the best throws I've ever made are like in a game when there's like, it's reacting, you know, you see a slot, your receiver's running across the field, you know, there's an opening and you're gonna like, I don't know how to like line myself up and put the ball where it has to be. Same thing with baseball. It's like, if you tried to think about how to hit a baseball, it's impossible. It's reacting. But the problem with golf is it's sitting there, it's not moving.
Yeah.
And so how do you get like an athletic, almost like a naturalistic reaction? And that's why it's fascinating to me, having gotten to spend a lot of time around all these pro golfers, is like, they don't have swing thoughts. They have trigger thoughts, or they have like visualized things. They'll all do it slightly different. They'll like, you know, like Jack Nicklaus was famous for, he'd like pick a spot like on the grass, you know, a couple yards in front of his ball, and he would just envision the ball flying over that. Or like guy like Jason Day or Tiger or Justin Thomas talks about windows of the ball flight. So all they're seeing in their head is like the ball flying through this window, you know, maybe 30 yards as it climbs into the air. And if they don't see it hit that window, then it's like, oh, it's a bad swing. But it's all visualization. It's not like I need to take it back further or I need to turn more. It's all just like they try to make it reactive. And the one who was the best about this was Brooks Koepka, who's like kind of probably the most like pure athlete of like a pro golfer. Mm-hmm. And he was like, he plays really fast too, because he's like, I'm trying to treat it like it's a baseball. Like I'm just reacting to it. And before I can overthink it, I see where I want it to go and I react, and boom, boom, we're up. And so that's what I always try to do. And I tend to play like pretty fast. I don't take a lot of practice swings.
Yeah, that's like Charlie's like that too.
Yeah.
Just go, you know. And
Minwoo
Ludwig
Lee said
Oberg
the
is like
same
this
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Minwoo was on the show, and he was like, he's like, my tip for putting is that you should do it like you're shooting free throws. Like you're just not thinking about it, you're just doing it. Like when you start lining everything up and all of a sudden it becomes unathletic.
But that's such an earned thing, right? Like
totally. For
in baseball, it's a good. You bring up a point like baseball, and like I don't know how to throw a baseball. I just throw a baseball.
Yeah.
I don't know how to throw a football. I just throw a football. Golf's not like that.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I mean, I know I can whip a spiral 20 yards exactly where I want it to go, but sometimes I can chip the ball exactly 20 yards, and then sometimes I can't do anything with a golf club. So I think you have to all those guys saying those things is something that's earned with years and hours and hours and hours of practice, I imagine, so that it is like as easy as throwing a ball.
Well, you know what it is though too. It's like I've got young kids. I mean, you have a young
two daughters,
two daughters, and like I'm trying to teach my 7-year-old how to throw a baseball, and like I think part of it is like you do learn some fundamentals, like the grip. Like my son first tried to grip a baseball and he would grip it like with his whole palm. Right. And you can't throw it, even if you're naturally athletic, like, and you know how to whip, you know, you really can't throw it that way. And so you got to teach them. It's like 2 fingers, 3 fingers, however their size are. If you tried to pick up a football and throw it and you didn't know how to get your fingers on the laces, like it's not going to come out right. And so I think that golf too is like, if you can build that fundamental stack of like, of things, your stance is square, you've got a good grip.
So many things.
There's so many things. It's true. But like the good fundamentals. And that's why like, you know, you see a guy like Scheffler, we were talking about, you bought your like Temu grip trainer thing for like babies that you put on a club. But he still uses like that grip trainer that you'd see, you know, like the thing that's like molded, and he's got like a 7-iron and then he hits on the range. It's almost, he only ever uses that. It's like his only swing training thought is like my grip. And obviously to your point, he said a gazillion balls very, very well. But it is like, once you get if you can get fundamentals right, like, and move to a place where you're not like overthinking it, and then also know you're never going to hit a perfect shot. That's the other thing that's been like interesting to me, having gotten to play with pros, is like they'll accept, you know, they'll have 100 yards in with a wedge in their hand. They're the best golfers in the world, and they'll hit it to 15 feet. And I'd be like pissed off because I'm like, I got a wedge in my hand. I'm going to try and score. I want like a kick and birdie. And they'd be like 15 feet, totally happy with it, because they're in the middle of the fat part of the green, and they're like, you know what, gives me a chance to make the putt. And so that just their willingness to accept like an okay shot and just avoid a disaster is the thing that makes them tour pros. But I just feel like it's yeah, I try to like not get too caught up in bad swings, and you know, I also like love recovery shots, to the thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It's like, it's amazing to me that if I'm standing in some weird lie and I have to do some manipulative thing, I actually tend to hit those shots better than if I'm just standing on a tee box with like a perfect lie.
Sure.
Cause you're just like, there's only one thing you can do. It's like, you got to go through this little gap. It's got to come up high and draw. And it's like, I feel like I pull those off more than I like do with a wet, you know, an iron on a par 3. I don't know.
I've started to do this thing, and it, like, yesterday I had like a really good ball striking day. I putted like trash, but I've been doing this thing where I'm asking the caddy, like, where's my miss? Like, what side do you want me to miss on? Because then it makes me like, okay, well, I have to hit this type of shot. And when I have a clear idea of like the type of shot I want to hit and where I want it to go, instead of like, let's just try to hit it straight at it, more often than not, that's when my greens and regulations like go way up. But going back to like why it's so difficult, like the swing thought idea, golf is, everything is backwards, right? Like if you want to hit a cut, you have to aim left. If you want to hit a draw, you have to aim right. If you want to hit like a flop shot, you have to have a lot of speed through the ball. If you want to hit the ball far, you need to actually swing slower, and kind of turn through it, you know? And that's if you want to hook the ball, then you're turning your right hand really weak instead of, it's just a game of like everything's backwards.
Totally.
And yeah, that's why it's very hard.
Did you get lessons when you started?
No.
Just self-taught?
No, yeah. I mean, I hang out
athletic
with,
guy, obviously.
Yeah, thank you. I'd hang out with good golfers, and I guess those are lessons. And then, when I started getting serious, it's, Kevin, I sat with Kevin for, hour here and an hour there, but no, I never had like a real proper lesson.
You played a lot though with Brockmeyer, who is like our 6-time club champion.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him during the strike, he would work on stuff with you a lot.
Yeah, but it was never lessons. It was like, do this today, or try this today, or try this today, But that's what I mean, I guess that's a lesson.
Yeah, it's for sure.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, I'd sit with Kevin for, an hour here and there, and he would give me a couple things to think about. But when you guys start getting into like taking it back and the wrist and the thing, then I'm like, I'm out. Like, give me something simple, right?
Yeah.
Like tell me what I'm doing wrong, and then I'll adjust. But the minutia sometimes, that's when, that's when I'm out.
But
like, I'm not ready for that. I don't know if I'll ever be ready for that type of a lesson.
I don't think anybody's ready for that. I think that can kill you.
But I see it happen. I'm like, whoa, that's just. My father-in-law is an insane person. He's a golf. You met my father-in-law. Mm-hmm. He's a lifetime golfer. Sometimes he'll take these lessons, and the things that he's working on, it's like right here, my wrist has to turn, or right here, and then right here is where now I twitch, and the thing, and I'm like, it's just too much for me.
You get these coaches, they start talking about P1, P2, P3, and I'm like, how could you swing that way? You're not playing a sport anymore.
What does that mean? Position 1?
Yeah, position 1. I don't even know. I mean, I've been playing golf for 30 years.
It's here, and then it's here, and here. I'm like,
Yeah. He's like, I'd like to see you a little more around at P4. And you're like, what does that mean? It'll kill you.
Interesting.
I don't even give him something like, you're too wide. You're coming inside. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I've seen your swing. It's like, it's amazing because you've been a member, for 4 years at least? So you've been playing regularly for like 4 years?
How long has it been?
Yeah, I think 3.5.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have gotten a lot better. Like,
I feel like
much better.
I feel like the first year that I played, every time I was on that tee box, I was like nervous, like somehow like I was going to lose my house and someone's going to take my children if I made a mistake. Now I'm like, who cares? But it took me like 2 years to be comfortable, to not be worried that I was going to embarrass myself or something.
Yeah. Do you play like other courses? Do you travel?
Not really.
Have you played like golf trips or anything like that?
Not really, no.
Yeah, you're just happy at Lakeside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you be, honestly?
Yeah.
Someone invited me on a trip to Ireland, which was awesome. But like, I have 3 little kids. So like, I try not to travel. So I have traveled a lot for work anyway. And I'm like, honestly, I'd rather just play Lakeside 5 times. Like I know that sounds horrible, but it's.
But I would. I mean, I don't. That I'm not obsessed. The idea of playing other places, I haven't gotten to the point where I can't wait to play this place, that place. It's just like playing the game. I don't even notice the difference. But what's a great course and what's not a great course?
Yeah,
I was playing. Before Lakeside, if I wouldn't play golf, I'd go play like Encino or Balboa.
Or you'd go play with Oliver. What was it?
Mountain Gate.
Mountain Gate.
But
Yeah.
my point was then it was like, I played with him maybe 3 or 4 times, and it was just about putting on a cool outfit. But I do play. My father-in-law's a member at a place in Arizona that I like playing a lot.
What's it called?
Paradise Valley.
Oh, cool.
And so I play there with him. And
speaking of parents, I remember you had a bag that had I think your dad's name, like a golf foundation or something on it. I'm not sure if you still do. Was that
a charity? He did a charity for Impact Drug House every year at El Caballero. El Cab. Every year for I think like 15 or 16 years. My uncle ran this charity event for this, like I said, this drug rehab, like my dad's charity event.
Did you play in it?
Yeah, I play in that all the time.
Yeah.
But that, again, at that time, it was, I would hit maybe 4 good shots, and I've got 3 teammates. You use someone's drive, then you use someone else's ball. I was lucky if we used 3 of my balls throughout the whole tournament.
Famously,
I went there to eat the food and laugh. And have fun. Golf's not fun anymore. It was way more fun when I didn't know how to play.
Yeah. You were on Entourage, and you guys filmed a lot of golf things with the cast. I feel like there's that kind of iconic one where drama breaks Tom Brady's driver, whatever. Did you play a lot with those guys, or is that kind of before?
Never. I lived in Hawaii for 10 years and I played twice.
Oh my God.
I know, I blew it. If it was now, I would be playing. There were so many places I could have played. I lived 5 minutes from Wailea. There was all kinds of places I could have played all the time, and I just wasn't on my radar.
But growing up, you were an athlete. I know you're a big surfer. You do martial arts as well.
Yep.
Were you able to surf when you were in Hawaii?
Yeah, I surfed every day.
Yeah.
Or not every day, but every day I had off.
Do you think that any of those other things that you do in terms of sport helps you in golf at all?
No, they're so different.
Yeah.
It's I think golf, the relaxation of golf helps other sports where you think aggression is the way to get through.
Yeah.
I think golf helps those sports as opposed to those sports helping golf.
I've seen a lot of people talk about the similarities between surfing and golf, like catching the perfect wave, and also being very comfortable, not being able to catch the wave, or not being able to do what you want to do out there, and just enjoying the experience of being out there.
Well, I guess golf's feel, right?
Yeah.
Surfing's all feel, right? It's all, but you're surfing. You're taking this force and aligning with the force.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds real deep.
That was cool.
Flow.
We're using that.
But it is golf. I feel like it's all here.
Yeah.
Everything's here, and surfing is kind of the opposite. It's all feel.
So you obviously have now become obsessed with golf. You're obsessed with getting better at it. You play a lot. Do you watch golf? Are you interested in watching golf?
Yeah, I do. I watch a show.
Oh, well, thank you.
But I don't know if I could sit and watch an entire day of golf, but I like to, the big tournaments, I'll watch the last day.
Have you been to a tournament in person? Have you been?
No.
You've never been to Riviera for the Genesis?
Nope.
You should go.
I remember a couple years ago, you guys all were going.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm I'm going to go play golf. No one's here. But yeah. Sitting still on the grass in a hot day sounds.
You walk around, you have a beer.
Yeah.
It's like playing golf, to be honest with you.
Except you don't get to play golf.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
I've never been into watching sports. I got to be honest. I love to play sports. I grew up, there was a lot of sports on the TV all the time. I'd rather play.
Yeah.
Any sport. I don't get being obsessed with other people doing it.
Have you ever seen a pro hit a golf ball? Because we get pros at Lakeside every once in a while. You ever get in one of those groups with Homa, or I know Markawa was out there.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think I've ever played with a pro or no.
Well, you're going to play with Chad today.
Oh
and
my
you're gonna
God.
See
Oh my God.
how
Are you
the other half lives.
a plus?
Scratch. Scratch.
He's in the plus area now.
Well, depends on the day.
Why haven't you ever been the club champion?
Because it's like the British Open week, so I've been gone the last couple of years. I've only been a member for 6 years,
But have you ever played in the club championship?
not at Lakeside, no. But because I'm always out of town.
Why don't you go and put it on these dudes?
I might do it. I'm gonna try. It was gettable ish a couple years ago, but now there's a lot of junior members that are like in their 20s that are just absolute monsters. I don't know if you've met that kid Parker.
Yeah.
He plays.
I'm not sure if I think that he should be able to play at the club championship.
I know,
He
we've
played
had
in
this-
Corn Ferry.
Did he? Yeah. I mean,
don't know.
you know, it's a thing. But yes, no. I hate tournament golf. Because I grew up competing. Because I got serious. I played all the sports like we were saying, and then I got really serious about golf when I was in high school. Like my freshman year, I tried
Where'd
out
you go to school?
in Georgia,
Oh, okay.
McIntosh High School, and tons of great like junior golf in the sort of South and Texas, obviously. And I remember like I tried out for the golf team freshman year, and I was also played football, and I was like real cocky about my golf game because I've been playing it for so long. It was like in my family, and I was like, I'm gonna be good. And I hit it out of bounds on the second hole. It was like a 9-hole qualifier, and I didn't make the team. And it's just like that was so brutal. Because one, I'm like a sales guy. I'm like good at talking my way into shit, and also like in team sports, like I was a natural leader. So even for football, I might not have been the most physical person, but I knew the playbook up and down. I knew how to play the game, and I could get it. I could like over index on being a good football player by just being smart about it. But golf is so quantitative, like tournament golf especially. There's no like talking your way into it. It's like you shoot the score, and that was so brutal for me because I went out and played. He had a 9-hole qualifier, and the 6 guys who had the lowest score, the 12 guys, whatever it was, like were on the team. There was no like second round. There was no other chance. There was no talking your way into it. There was no telling the coach I had a bad day. I wasn't feeling it. Watch me hit some balls in the range. I'm really good. It's like you just go shoot the number, and it's really brutal. So then I quit football after that and focused all on golf for an entire year, just like practice every single day, and went back. And I think the big difference was I couldn't afford like range balls really like all the time, or I couldn't really afford to play all the time. So I would just chip and putt because it was free. So my short game just got like insanely good. And then I came back and made the team the second year. And then I was sort of our top golfer throughout high school. And then for me, it was like, there was just tournament golf was so high stress because it is so qualitative.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And I was like used to being like good at stuff, like really good at stuff. And then you get there and you'd see these kids and like, they were so good at golf. I played against Brian Harmon once in a state high school golf championship on a really hard golf course. And I scrambled my ass off and shot like even par. And I think he shot 10 under. I think he beat by 10 strokes. And I was playing as good as I can play. And he was like 3 years younger than me and also was like 4'1".
Yeah.
And you just are like, oh my God, it was just brutal. And then, so even now, like at Lakeside, like I don't like to play. I love gambling on golf. I love playing money games, but I don't really love like tournament golf because I don't know. There's like maybe there's some scar tissue there, some PTSD about just like playing bad when you want to play good. But yeah, no, I'd love to give it a run. I always think, my kids are older, hopefully this body still moves a little bit and I can get out there and play, some more stroke play matches and stuff like that. But I love gambling. I like playing team games. We play a lot of like, we were talking about Wolf or Skins games and stuff like that. I think that's like, for me, having action on every hole, actually turning it into more of a sport, like me versus you versus me versus the course. I think that's it for me. It's like, if it's me versus the course and it's just about the number, I get in my head like, I start to blame myself for everything. And it's like, you can't recover, but if it's like me versus you or playing a team game, it is more head to head. And I tend to play a lot better in that environment, interestingly enough.
Do you like to play for money, Scott?
Yeah, I guess, but not a lot of money.
Yeah.
If I lose, if I win $100, it's not gonna change my life. If I lose $300, I'm pissed. So it's not worth it. But yeah, I like a little bit of something for the fun of it. I started off not liking that, but now it's fun.
Yeah, I remember you were like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to play. And
yeah.
You're like, okay, well, we'll play a 9-0 game or whatever. And then that all changed.
Yeah.
When you started winning some money, I think.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm sure I've lost more than I've won, but it does help you focus a little bit more, and then you're a little more, interested in playing well.
Do you have a favorite game?
No, I mean, I don't know a lot. I mean, it's Skins, Wolf, 9-0, all those games, but I get just a regular Nassau. I like that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like it when there's 5 guys and then the wheel, and then I get confused. And then at the end, someone's like, you owe me this much. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
I agree with that. I hate the wheel.
Yeah.
I hate the wheel. For those of you out there that don't know what the wheel is, it's basically it's a game when you have 5 players playing at the same time. And so it's 2 guys will be up against the other 2 guys and the other 2 guys. So there's 3 bets going on against really just two players. And I feel like I'm always the guy who's in the wheel. So
But
I'm
if you're
always
in the wheel, you're playing. You're
playing everybody.
You're playing everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm always in the wheel, and I feel like I'm always losing all the bets to everybody. You love the wheel, though.
I like the wheel. But the whole thing too, like I didn't grow up in private clubs, so I never played as a fivesome until I joined Lakeside. And that's the other thing too. You realize how like lucky we are to be able to do that, or just, and it surprises me too. You get into the private world and you see a lot of these different games, and you can play as like fivesome or sixsome or things like that. And I mean, it was always like foursomes. You try to go play at a public course and play as a 5, like you're going to be like kicked off the place. And so but I think those 5-person games are not the wheel. I don't love the wheel as much. I love like Wolf with 5. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, that's fun. I just remember the first time I was in the wheel. Mm-hmm. And also, you don't get to pick who you play with.
Yeah, the balls decide.
The balls decide. And I remember I was in a game. It was like right when I first joined. I was in a game with a bunch of people that gamble heavy.
Yeah.
And the 2, like me and the guy who also had the worst day he could possibly have, were in the wheel. So we lost every bet, presses on every bet. And again, I didn't know what we were playing for, but at the end, someone was like, "You owe 600." I was like, and so then I never, then it's just PTSD. I don't want to be in the wheel. I don't want to play. Because me and the guy I played with both, I don't even know
who was the
either
guy.
one of them. I'm not going to say. But we both played so bad. I think I shot like like 100 or something. He shot like 100, like 95. It was just a disaster.
Yeah. Our club has caddies, which is kind of a unique thing in the golf world. What do you like your caddies to do, and what do you not like your caddies to do?
I'm just like I'm having fun with them usually. So I don't, even if the reads are bad. I mean, if the reads are bad and we got like a money on game, it's like, but I don't care. I'm just having fun.
I've seen you get salty too. I think the guy that I always have, Mike, try to give you a swing, like
that's
swing.
different.
And you were
Dude
like,
was like,
shut up. And I'm
trying
like,
to tell me how to swing the club. Yeah. But a bad read, I don't care. Whatever. But yeah, he was like, I don't remember what he did. I do remember that day, but I don't remember what it was. It's like, why are you saying that to me right now? You know?
Never give a swing thought like in the middle of a round.
Or like after you miss it left, and he's like, well, it was going the other way. It's like, yeah, I know, dude.
Yeah.
Like afterwards, like I know what I did wrong. Don't remind me.
My brother did something to me yesterday that pissed me off so much. He does it all the time, where he will, like, if I miss a putt for like double bogey, he'd be like, "Ooh, a 6," and like say it out loud. I'm like, you don't need to say it out loud. We all know what just happened. I have some pet peeves on the golf course for sure.
Well, that's a good topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your pet peeves?
This is the one I hate. I hate this one.
Tell me.
When you give a putt and someone picks up the putt knowing that you didn't know that that putt was for something. Like, does that make sense? So you're in a game.
Yeah.
I guess it's my fault because I got to pay attention to everything. But like, I think that, that putt doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's good. And then the person picks it up.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, if I'm that person, I go, are you sure? Because this is for the tie.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they go, okay. Like, I've been in that position where it'd be like, that's good. I'm like, this is for the push. And they're like, oh, you got to make it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? When someone just
100%.
like picks up, like, okay. It's like, come on, dude. Like, don't.
Yeah. I mean, usually if it's a foursome, whoever's on your team should be like, whoa.
I know.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not like, we're playing for $11 at Lakeside. It's not like a big deal. It's like,
But you're honorable. That's what I'm
saying.
Yeah.
It's like,
are you sure this is good? Not like, woo, score for $11. Like, come on.
yeah, and they're like skipping off to the next tee. You're like, come on.
I'm a big fan of the good.
Big fan of the good.
Like, that's.
Are you chasing a good? Like if it's available to you?
Listen, it depends on who I'm playing. Like if I'm like, first of all, I can see their putt, and if it's going to be a tougher putt than mine, then yes, I'm going to make both of us putt it. But if it's in that 5 foot, 4 foot range that we both could miss or both could make, I'm like, yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, but that's a tricky one for me too, because I feel like I want the putt to be good, but at the same time, then I'm gonna walk away and go, did I really make par there? Like, or like sometimes give a bird, tapping's one thing, but
Yeah.
you know what I like? A good 5. Like, that's good. Like, don't make me make a double here. Like, it's a 4-foot putt. That's good. I'll take that one.
Yeah.
But like the par gimme or even the birdie, it's good. I'm like, I'm not going to feel comfortable when I write the score at the end.
You need to see a birdie go in.
You
I
do.
think.
Unless it's kicking.
Unless it's kicking. But even still, then just tap it in. Like,
But a lot of times someone will go up and it's like you've hit the shot and they'll walk up to it and knock it to you. And you're like, oh, I never had the chance.
Well, that's swaggy when that happens to you, though.
Yeah.
If you're hitting it that close and it's an obvious birdie and they're out of the hole and they just hit it back to you, like that feels good. And yes, you're right. Maybe it's you have a little asterisk when you write. But I actually will putt, like, so we played a match the other day and it was like my partner made a birdie and we won the hole with the birdie. And I hit a good shot. So I had like 4 feet for birdie, but he drains a long one. And I still putted it out because I was like, I want to see this go in.
That's what I'm saying.
You
That's
know?
what I'm saying. That kind of thing where it's like, it doesn't matter anymore for the game. That's another thing. You're playing the gambling game. Someone's like, pick it up. It doesn't matter. And I'm kind of like, I know, but I'm going to write a score at the end.
Yeah.
So I'll do that.
If I'm playing like shit, I'll
take
just
the 5.
pick it up. Who cares? But if I'm playing like looking like I'm going to have a good round, I'm like, I got to make the putt.
Yeah.
See, maybe that's the Vanity Index thing for me. Cause like I'll do that all day with like a par. If someone's already in for par and I got 6 feet and it doesn't matter, I'm like right on to the next tee.
Yeah, because you're most likely going to make par.
Sure.
Good chance I'm going to blow it by 4 feet and then I'm going to be sweating for making a bogey.
Five, yeah. No, I'm all with you on the 5s are good because it's like nobody wants to make.
But here's the thing, Scott.
I
like
hate a double bogey so
it's
much.
the worst.
Yeah, your handicap is low enough where the most you can take is a double bogey.
Not on some holes.
Really?
Right?
Yeah,
anything the 8 handicap and less, I can take a triple. If I make a triple, that's a lost ball, and I do something really bad. I'm not. But again, if I go, like I said, I don't play a lot of other courses, but when I go to Bel Air, the few times I go in there, there's some triples out there for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like I will lose balls out there.
What's your stance on, our club famously, you can take a breakfast ball on the first tee.
I don't like to do it unless the ball's unplayable.
Yeah. So this is my question. Have you ever played your second ball and then made birdie and then been like, I don't feel good about this?
I can't tell you. I maybe birdied hole 1 once.
Yeah.
That is like, I cannot figure that hole out. I don't know why it's the easiest. To me, it should be the easiest hole.
Yeah.
You don't even have to hit a good drive and you've got 130 in.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, is that green tough?
It's got a weird like mound in the middle.
I've hit that green and then 4-putted.
Yeah, because you got to go. If it's back, the pin's back, you kind of go up. It's back downhill. It's a weird green. I mean, and that if you're in the bunker left of the green, that's a really hard shot straight down the hill.
Is it though?
It depending on where the pin is. I think that
I've
green's
gone
pretty tough.
in the bushes past the green. I'm always to the right. I'm in the sand trap. It's like, I don't know, but I don't have that problem of birdieing that second ball.
Yeah.
But someone said something. If you're a single digit handicap, not index, but if you're getting less, if you're a 9 or below, there's no breakfast ball.
That's Santino's thing.
yeah.
That's Santino's really trying to put that in.
But I like it.
Yeah.
Listen, it's the beginning. Look. Here's another thing. You're on the range and it's like no drivers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like you're stepping up there for the first time. So it makes sense. But if it's not out of bounds or a lost ball, I'll play. I won't hit a second ball.
Yeah.
That's the other thing about that. The only thing about that hole that makes it hard, and actually I think Lakeside starts with a par 4, like a pretty short par 4, and then a like pretty short par 5. So it's you kind of have to get scoring early because there's only 2 par 5s in the whole course, and the last one is the 4th hole. The back 9 is 8 par 4s, 8 hard par 4s, and 1 par 3. So it's a sneaky hard course to go and like steal birdies at. You're not going to have like eagle putts except for maybe on 2. Number 4 is like barely reachable. I mean, only if you're like hitting it like 330 or something off the tee. It's a really hard hole.
hit that green in
3.
third shot.
Yeah. But I think there's psychologically there's not a lot of trouble at Lakeside, but
There's a lot of birdies.
there is out of bounds left and right on 1 and 2, and that's the only hole where you've got out of bounds left and right. And you can, because the driving range borders the right side of the fairway of 1, you can hit it in the driving range, you're out of bounds. and then the boundary of the course is on the left. And it's the same thing on 2. Like 2 is wide open, but you can hit it out of bounds both directions. And I think like knowing in your head that you've got a bailout spot, no matter how far right you hit it on like any other hole, you're kind of maybe going to find it. There is something like I don't know. I get tight. I never played those holes well. And I always want to score early because it's like, if you don't birdie 2, you're like,
you have to par 2.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I have to bogey. No, I can't double 1.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I have to par 2. And yeah, every time you tee off on 2, you're like, and nothing can go wrong here.
right. It's wide open.
I'm just like praying that I hit it into the sand trap.
Yeah,
or close to the sand trap.
Totally.
How many balls have you hit out on 11?
A lot.
A lot. Yeah.
That's our road hole.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, and it's so frustrating because you're just like, not all you're thinking about is not hitting it over there.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you haven't hit a giant.
And then that snap hook comes.
Yeah. Just to try to kill someone on 17th tee.
What's the hardest hole? Your hardest hole?
or
have you had what hole have you blown up on the most? Or
11's probably my most difficult one because you have to hit a cut, and I play primarily a draw. But I pull back on it. Like I'll hit like 5 wood or 7 wood out there, and just be fine with the 5 iron I have in. Just because like keeping it in play, and generally if I'm in a game, I'm usually stroking there. So if I can make par, that's birdie. I'm probably winning the hole. But yeah, it's a good hole. One has been a bugaboo for me as well because that draw is what's going to come out first when I'm tight and nervous.
yeah, I think the first time I saw you play, I put 2 in the parking lot.
Dude. So when you join the club, you have to play like with all the board members, and it's kind of like a stressful situation. And I went out and played with this guy on the board, and I put 3 balls out immediately.
Like, welcome. Well, he's like, and I'd love to be a member here.
He was like, well, this is gonna be the shortest.
Probably Bruce.
Exactly who it was. Ended up shooting 78 and beating him, but that's such a stressful.
So actually,
shot.
I have a pro golfer story about
Okay.
number 1 at Lakeside. So number 1, as we said, short par 4, but the parking lot's to the left, and you can absolutely hit it in the parking lot. So
My car's been hit.
your car's been hit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Really?
that there's more cars not
The
hit.
windshield or
But actually, both my cars have been hit. One was on like the spoiler of a Mercedes, and then the door of my Land Cruiser.
and what happens? Does someone pay for it? No.
No, I mean I don't know. I didn't go.
Yeah, no,
ask.
Don't park there, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this was when I just joined. So not even actually, I had gotten in. So you get a phone call from the GM, and he's like, hey, we're ready. Come. Let's set up a time to come and meet. I was in my office, and he's like, yeah, come in over the weekend, whatever. Like, come in, and I'm like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Like, I've been dreaming of this forever. So I go in. He's like, okay, I've got like 20 minutes, and then we have a pro who's practicing. This was in 2019. The U.S. Open was up at Pebble. It was kind of like, I think it was a week before, and we have the same greens as they do at Pebble Beach. They're Poana greens, so like very similar. And so anyway, he's like, okay, we're gonna do the paperwork, but like we're gonna have to pause in the middle because I got to make sure this pro gets out, and he's playing. I think they were even on a company, which is very rare. So I was like, well, can I come and watch? He's like, sure. So I go out there, and it's Hideki Matsuyama, and he's playing with like 2 Japanese guys that I think were his caddy and his trainer or something. And so we're like, I'm gonna watch him, and there's a group of members kind of gathering around because you don't see pros out there that often. So Hideki's like hitting some putts, and then the 2 guys who he plays with come out. They pull driver. They just absolute lasers like right down the middle. You're like, oh man, that's not even the pro. And
like to the like greenside trap?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
Like 330 in the air, and it's gorgeous. And then Hideki's like looking at the hole. He pulls out an iron, and he sets up, and he does that slow pause, and just like absolutely pull hooks one like over the parking lot left,
Really?
like into the lake, like
Really?
a snap. I mean, not even a snap hook, just a dead 40-yard pull, and everybody's like, breakfast ball, it's Lakeside tradition. Hit another one. So he's like kind of embarrassed, whatever. Gets another ball tossed to him, puts it down. Second swing, exact same thing. Out of bounds left, 30 yards left of the trees, like horrible. Like I mean, off the planet bad. So now everybody's like, one more, and he's like now kind of embarrassed. So he just gets another ball and really quickly just like necks one down the right side, like just, kind of like skanky iron shot. And then apparently after that, he was like 8 under after that, like from that moment forward.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, what an amazing thing for me to see just joining the club, that like one of the best golfers in the world, probably the best Japanese player of all time, like pipe 2 out of bounds on one. So I'm never that worried about it.
Yeah, that's a good. I love to hear that.
Yeah, that is nice. I mean, he won the Masters, but he can't card a double on one at Lakeside.
No, the double's too hard for him. The other thing from that round that was funny is the member or the caddy or something said he didn't say a single word the entire time. You know, he doesn't like to speak English. He speaks English, but he doesn't like to speak it to people because I think he's embarrassed by it. And he didn't say anything the entire round until it gets to 11. We were talking about 11th hole earlier. It's very tight. There's like a trouble right. And he said the only English he spoke the entire time was at the end of 11. They come off the green. And he looks at the caddy and he goes, tight.
It is.
It is very tight.
tight.
For sure. What's your strongest part of your game, Scotty?
Not when I say short, I think anything inside of 50 feet.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people, you know, you said to me sometimes like your chipping is like your best, you know, you chip well, blah, blah. It's just because I don't hit greens. It's like I'm always having to, you know, practice. That's what I practice the most. So yeah, anything. If I make 50% of my pars, I'm getting up and down from 40 away, 50 away, 30 away.
I don't know if you still do this, but you did during the strike a lot. We have this practice facility, kind of like down off of 4, and it's almost like a little par 3 course called McAvoy Acres, and you would go down there a lot and work on your short game.
Yeah,
that's not something that like I don't even do that ever, you know. And it's such an important thing.
I think that's something Brent told me to do. You know,
but do you like practicing short shots?
Yeah, I do, but I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But again, I think a combination of that and always having, you know, those shots to make, or like the, you know, like the hard, like the downhill lie and the rough over the trap on, you know, to get to the, like, I'm not scared of that shot because I've had to hit it so many times, right?
Is the thing about short game shots that I think that like a great pitch or chip where you get to see a ball like roll across a green and get closer to the hole. I think that's my favorite thing in golf.
Me too. And that, like, luckily that's the thing I think I do the best, my best.
Yeah.
Because hitting a great drive feels really good.
It's feel, right? Like that's all like hands.
It's also it's drama, right? Like you're watching a ball roll and get closer. And there's like an excitement factor of like, you see that distance getting closer and closer and closer. It's so satisfying. You know, like a great iron shot that you stuff is feels cool, but the ball just like sticks.
Yeah.
You know, there's just something about like you have a big swale or there's like another tier and you watch a ball feed and get close. I think there's something really like primal of interest in golf. And that's like so much, if you ever go to Scotland and play, it's like so much of it is that. It's like the ball rolling on the ground. Even when you're hitting long iron shots, it's like, there's a famous par 3 template from North Barrett called the Redan hole, and it's like a 200-yard par 3. And the whole thing is you're meant to hit it like 170 because the green slopes from the front to the back, and it has a huge like curve in it. And if you hit it in the right spot, like if you try to go at the flag, it'll bounce over the green. Even if you like hit an amazing shot, it lands right next to it. And so there's like when you hit it into that slot, it's such a fun experience because you see it land, and then you just see it get closer and closer and closer. It's like it feeds it into the hole. It's like hitting into a bowl is so. It's so satisfying. I don't know. That's why I love practicing short game. Maybe that's because it was like, you know, again, when I was a kid, it was all I could do. But you know, I'd get bored and get weird with it, and I'd try to like see how close I could stand to a golf cart and still flop it onto the roof, you know, or like up over the roof. I love that kind of shit.
Yeah,
well, I just noticed this room is. This is your golf. This is like. Did you paint it for this podcast, or it was like this?
So my old office was in the nursery, and I painted it like this. And it was just too small, so we just recently repainted it. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
That's very cool.
It's like Butler cabin. It's like
exactly.
Adam's cabin.
Okay. We want to be respectful of your time, Scotty. Rapid fire questions before we let you go.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
That's great.
All right. Rapid fire questions with Scotty. Walk or ride?
Ride.
Biggest golf pet peeve?
Moving around and talking when you're putting.
Yeah. Favorite course you've ever played?
Lakeside.
One course you'd love to play?
Augusta.
Are you a get to the course early in practice or straight out of the car first tee?
Practice.
Dream foursome.
You,
Thank you.
Chad,
Wow.
It's today.
and Charlie Day.
I believe one of those answers, but that's good. What's your current swing thought?
Just stay over the ball. Don't sway. Just stay over the ball. Is that a good one?
Yeah. Favorite golf movie?
Caddyshack.
Play it
What
safe.
is there any other ones?
Well, yeah, there's Happy Gilmore.
Tin
Oh,
Cup.
okay.
Tin Cup.
Okay. Yeah.
Greatest game ever played.
Never seen any of them except Caddyshack.
Yeah. Play it safe or go for it.
Go for it.
Change one rule in golf. What would it be?
Make it 16 holes instead of 18.
Most embarrassing moment on the golf course.
I mean, just topping one when you have after a great drive, right? Or like, you know.
No, that is bad.
Yeah.
Favorite club in the bag.
My 54.
Least favorite club in the bag.
My 5-iron.
Adult beverage on the course.
Soda water. I don't drink.
Yeah. What makes you nervous in golf?
Putting.
Have you ever had a hole in one?
Nope.
What's your best score ever?
76.
Damn.
That's great.
Yeah. All right. One word to describe your game.
Erratic.
Erratic.
Huh.
Scotty Caan, thank you so much for coming on the Vanity
Thank
Index
you.
podcast. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about, promote, or say before we let you go?
Nope.
No?
Mm-mm.
Where do people find you? You're not on social media, are you?
I am not. Oh, well, that's what I'll say.
Yeah.
If any social media accounts that claim to be me,
Yeah.
there's one, and that guy's not me.
I followed him and was commenting on stuff.
Yeah, but it's listen. If you're like just doing something nice or it's a fan page, I think that's super cool. But this guy pretends to be me and like
Yeah.
posts pictures of like friends of mine that have passed and been like, "I miss you." Like,
Ugh.
come on, man, it's
That's
not
not
cool. It's not cool.
Work-wise, what do you got coming up?
I have a show called Alert on Fox Tuesday nights at 9:00. That's out right now. And that's it. Tuesday 9:00. Alert.
Oh, I'll put it in post. We're going to play today. You're going to play 9. What are you going to shoot on 9?
40.
Love it.
Love it.
All right.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks,
Thank
Scotty.
you guys.
That was fun.
Yeah.
See you, buddy.